Hello everyone, welcome back. It's Anna here. So this is my channel where I am posting how I'm doing on the Cambridge Weight Plan. Welcome to everybody who may be new, and definitely welcome to all of those of you who have signed up, who are coming back every week. And of course, I want to say thank you to everybody who has been commenting so far. I love to see the comments, the reactions. It really helps me. So thank you very much to all of you who have commented. And if you haven't, please leave your thoughts, subscribe, sign up, like, let me know if you're finding my videos and what I'm doing useful. So as always, I wanted to give you an update of where I am with my Cambridge Weight Plan diet and my results. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about a specific topic which I think is relevant. So for me today, it will be the topic of stress. But before I go into that, weight results as always. So this is now week 15 and I have lost another 1.4 kilos. So that's really very much close to 3 pounds. So that's another 3 pounds on top of what I had lost. And therefore I am now at 26.5 kilograms. 26 and a quarter, which I always forget to calculate, but let me do it live. So 26.25 times 2.23, so that's a kilos times the number of pounds per kilo, so that's 58.5 pounds. And then if you divide that by 14, that gives you the total number of stones, so that's 4.18. And it would probably be easier if I just gave you the results in pounds and stone. I'm used to looking at things in kilos, so hopefully that works for all, but it gives you an idea of where I'm at. So 14, week 15, that much weight loss. The results speak for themselves. They are fantastic. I'm definitely feeling it. You can all see it. I've had loads of comments on that, so thank you very much for everybody who's commented on it. I can definitely feel it, and every week I feel it a little bit more on my clothes, which is always fantastic. It's such a great feeling to start to regain different parts of my wardrobe. We have been doing recently a massive big cleanse of wardrobe, so we've taken out about 4 big bin bags worth of clothes. I am saving a couple of prize items from when I was at my heaviest, so that when I get to the weight that I want to be, I can do a comparison. But I can't believe how many clothes we've been taking out, both from myself and my husband, who's also doing it, and he's so much closer. He's also lost quite a bit. I think he's up to 29 kilos, so that's just short of 5 stones for him. And he's looking fantastic. He's even looking younger. I think he looks about 15 years younger. So it's amazing that the difference that he's making for both of us. And it's great to have him there, also doing it as a support. So if you are on your own weight plan, Cambridge or otherwise, then I would definitely advise that you find somebody who's going to be your support system, is going to be in your corner, and that you can talk through everything that you're feeling, because it's quite an unusual thing to go through, and the different stages of weight loss. So I'll definitely recommend that. But what I wanted to talk about really in a little bit more detail today was stress. And I guess the reason why I wanted to talk about it is because I have been feeling quite stressed. Always coming back from holidays, you know that you are going to have a huge amount of work. I definitely have a job where my work just piles up if I go away. Nobody else does it for me. I have to do it myself, so I have to prepare for it before I go away, and I definitely have to prepare for it when I get back. So I always call it, you have to pay it forward before you go away, and you definitely pay back for it when you come back, because it's just there waiting for you and you have to deal with it. So ever since I got back from holidays a few weeks ago, not quite a full, well, probably coming on to a month now, I've just felt like workload was huge. There was so much to do, priorities, etc. So for me, I don't know about you, but for me, stress is one of the biggest things that impacts my weight loss, and my habits is one of my biggest derailers, because I end up pushing myself too far. I end up feeling quite tired when I am drained and depleted, and I don't have enough energy to think about what do I need, what do I need to do differently, what do I need for myself. Instead of taking a break, I just kind of keep pushing through, which is never ideal. So I have to always try to remind myself to give myself a little break and not continuously push. but all habits that I had, and that's one of the ones that I'm trying to manage. So I definitely, in the past, I have noticed that when I've had periods of high stress, I lose less weight. My body tends to either hold on to it or kind of retain more water. I don't know what it is, but definitely there's a bit of a slowdown. And would I say I've had a slowdown is since I've come back from holiday on Cambridge. I don't know if I have had a slowdown. I mean, I came back and I went to step two, and then I had a 1.1, and now I've had a 1.4. So I'm not sure if it's really a slowdown or not. Last week I could have classed it as that, but I still think I'm fairly steady, and I definitely still feel like I know that I will lose at least a kilo a week, and I'm feeling it gradually on my clothes. I've got a blouse that I try every week that I'm trying to get to, and every week I try it, I'm that little bit closer. I'm almost there. I could kind of stand on it, but if I went to sit down, it stretches, so I know it's not quite ready to go just yet. But I am still losing weight, so it's interesting because this is the first time I've been on a diet whereby it doesn't matter the amount of stress that I have, I am still losing the weight. But what it is forcing me to think about is what would be my normal way of coping with stress. And I guess that's the one thing that I wanted to touch on. For me, historically, the way that I would deal with stress would always be through food. And I was a major comfort eater. I would also eat for energy. So if I was tired, if I needed to do longer hours, if I was feeling a bit depleted and I needed to felt like I needed a brain boost, I would always go for some crisps, some chocolate, different forms of food. So food was my go-to coping mechanism. And now, I am so determined to do it, to lose the weight, and I know that I need to stick to the plan, because as long as I stick to the plan, I know I lose the weight, so I don't want to mess with that. And therefore I'm having to think about all the ways in which I need to deal with things. So historically, one of the things that I would always do is I'd be tired, so I'd start the day with a big coffee, a big latte, lots of caffeine, lots of milk, maybe a second one if I was having a really bad day, then maybe a mid-morning snack, then you'd have your lunch, not always the best choices, then it would hit the afternoon slump, and about 2 o'clock I would definitely crash. So at that point, anything was possible, from cakes, from cookies, from sweets, from chocolate, anything, possibly even another coffee. And then when I got home, I mean, I think I could say that my willpower had gone. I think it had gone well before that. But by the time I got home, I would just look for something quick and easy, whether it was a takeaway or whether it's a ready-made meal, whether it's something that you just shove in the oven. Never the most nutritionally powerful and packed elements. Always definitely very fatty and sweety and, sweet related, or cheese or fried, that type of thing. And I know that it sounds very topical to say those things because it's kind of like the obvious things, but I am really having to think about, okay, I've been having a few stressful days, and I can tell, like, mid-mornings, like, I just want a bag of crisps. Why do I want a bag of crisps? I don't need that. Or in the afternoon, right now, I would normally go for something sweet, and I don't actually want it, but it's almost like your brain is going, this is how you cope with it. Start to think about, and it starts flashing you all of these images of things that you would normally go to, which I do not want to have. So that's been really interesting to understand and to kind of work through, because I never realized just how much a lot of it was driven by the stress. And when I've managed to calm myself down and said, okay, why is this happening? Why am I just feeling overwhelmed? Is it the stress? Is it the volume of work? Is it the timeline? Is it because this is very important for me? Is it because I have a lot of deadlines packed once against the other? And then do I feel like I'm in control, or do I feel like things are getting on top of me? Or, how do I need to manage these to help me think about it differently and do something different? So, it's a very individual thing. I can't tell you how to cope with stress because you will feel stressed differently than what I do. For me, I get a lot of anxiety when I feel like things could potentially start to get out of control. Like I'm starting to see um, more risks to me being able to meet the deadlines that I have, when I start to see that work is piling up or it's getting very close or things are getting very tight. And I have to push for certain timings, and then I think about the volume of work that I have to do on any given day and how much that is. So all of that just kind of starts to bubble up like this big anxiety pressure cooker that I have and that I carry inside myself. Um, and then I just have to find a way of releasing that. So actually, the interesting thing that I've realized is that the more that I have to do, the more I have to slow down. Um, which is a little bit counterintuitive because it's difficult to say, I've got so much to do, but actually the best thing for me right now is to stop everything I'm doing, go for a walk, take my dog out for a walk, clear my head, and then come back and think, okay, what are my top 3 priorities and how am I going to manage that? Um, so that is, I guess, one of the many ways in which the psychology of how your brain works impacts your weight loss. And stress is one of the many emotions, and I've mentioned stress and anxiety. They can go hand in hand, but they can also be separate. But equally, whether you're feeling sad, whether you're feeling happy, whether you're feeling let down or disappointed, all of that will have an impact. Ladies, and I'm sorry for the men, but ladies, if it's that time of the month, it will play havoc with how you're feeling and how much you want food. So really, it is all about understanding what emotions you're feeling, allowing yourself to feel them, to say, okay, this is what I'm going through, and kind of realize that that's what you're feeling and that's why you are craving something. It's not the fact that you need that food, it's the fact that you are feeling something that is making you feel like you need to cope with it. And if you're resorting to food, it's because you haven't found the right coping mechanism for yourself. So it's just a way of working out what is going to make the biggest difference for you. The worst thing that somebody can tell you if you're stressed is to say don't worry about it, because you're going to still do nothing but worry. It's like, I can't believe who it was, but when they say, try to not think of a white bear, all you can think about is a white bear, and therefore that doesn't help you in any way. But what you do need to do is find a way of breaking down the problem in a way that you feel that you can manage it, so you can work through it. There's no getting around it. You still need to work through it yourself. But what is it that you need to do to regain control so that you don't feel like your emotions are running you, and you can be aware that you have those emotions, but you can still do something about it. So, slightly different, and it's something that for me has always had a big impact on my weight loss. I know that in the past when I've done different diets, the way that I was feeling about work, about different pieces of stress, was a big factor in my weight levels. And when I've had the biggest weight increase, has typically been very much stress related for me. So stress is definitely a massive big trigger, and it's something that has made me kind of spiral out of control, because I get into habits that are not the most productive, and you kind of get into this vicious circle, and once you're in that space, it's very difficult to snap yourself out of it. So if you're feeling something that you used to feel before, first of all, don't knock yourself over it, because it's normal to have those emotions. I think just recognizing that you're having them and allowing yourself to say, I am feeling something and this is what I'm going through, is quite important. Find a way, try to pinpoint what it is that is bothering you the most. Is it the stress level? Is it the volume of work? Is it the timelines? Do you feel like you have no support? Do you need to gain support from somebody? Do you need to do something? What is it that you can actually and practically do to change the outcome of what you're feeling, and to change the outcome of the circumstances and the situation around you, so you feel more in control, you feel like you can control your feelings and kind of recompose yourself, because stress is just a reaction to something that is happening around you. And your body will have a series of built-in habits for how you cope with it. And what we're trying to do is just change that habit. And you can't avoid it. You just need to replace one activity with another. And working out what that activity is will be very important for you. So, and for me, I am saying this as I'm trying to work through it myself. One of the things that I've done is I've taken a couple of days off when I needed it, which seems a little bit counterproductive because I was feeling so stressed and I do have so much work to do, but actually what I needed is just to clear a bit of space for myself and have time for me, do things that I want, kind of remember that there is more to life than work, and that I need to just separate myself from that, and that I can regain a bit of control and, just regroup with what is the most important thing to me, as opposed to allowing myself to get carried by whatever circumstances I'm in day to day. And then just take a step back and say, okay, yeah, I'm going through something. Those are some feelings. This is something, it's a period of time. Just make it relative to life. Is it really that important in the grand scheme of things? And if it is for you, if it isn't, great, gain perspective, approach it a different way, you can carry on. If it is really important for you and you need to do something about it, then you just need to work out what it is that you need to do. But if you find yourself that there are old habits or different things that are creeping in, that it's important for you to understand why. And I am a huge emotional, or I have been in the past, a huge emotional eater. So I know that stress, anxiety, sadness, overwhelm, all of those things will make me want to eat. And I just need to find different coping mechanisms, because you can say, okay, you're eating for comfort, but sometimes you overeat for comfort to the point of discomfort. So is it really being such a big comfort blanket for you, or is it just a placebo, something that is a temporary fix but actually doesn't help you to achieve what you want? The other thing in which you can eat, is just to numb things out. You're eating and therefore you're doing something that you feel like is a basic human need, and you need to be eating instead of facing everything else, which may or may not be a bit of a twisted logic, but it's something that you can think and you can go through. So if you are eating as a way of procrastinating or avoiding, then you're basically just trying to numb the world out. You could be eating, you could be drinking, you could be smoking. It's habits that are not the most healthy, and it's something that you need to think about. Well, how could I just recalibrate this, because this is not helping me out? So do I just need a mental break, or do I need to do something else? And then if it's just a way of, for me, was also, as I've said, energy giving. And that was just myself trying to push myself too hard, instead of recognizing that there was a problem, that there was only so many hours in the day, and that I just needed to call it at that point and do something about it. So that, if you're feeling like you're having to eat to keep yourself going, whether it's eating, whether it's energy drinks, you're probably already pushing yourself past your limit. And past the limit that anybody should push themselves through. Is not going to be healthy, and you're only going to pay for it in the long run. So if you're already at that point that you're so stretched that you feel like you need energy and food or whatever to keep you going, then you need to just call it and do something about it. You need some form of change, because that's not going to resolve itself. And you need to do something about why you're having to work all of those hours and do that. And then just a temporary fix. Sometimes you just want to make yourself feel better, and food has a way of giving that feeling of pleasure, or like you're giving yourself a treat or a reward, so it makes you feel good. But if you are like I am, or like I have been in the past, I would always go for the food that I would consider to be comfort food. And comfort food, it's typically fatty, salty, sweet, fried. It's never going to really give you the level of comfort that your body needs. It's going to be a temporary fix, but then in the end you're going to finish feeling worse than you did before you started. So again, is it really comforting you after all? So on that wonderful and cheerful note, I hope that this has been useful for you. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about stress, emotions, and the impact that they can have on how you approach food and how you eat. And it's something that has been very important for me, and it's something I'm continuing to work through because I am on 4 products a day, and I kind of follow that very strictly and very religiously. I have my 4 products and I stick to that. I I know that it's forcing me to realize those habits that were there, because I don't want to break that, but then I can still feel kind of those old feelings coming through. So it's quite interesting to see how that's playing out. And it's useful to just understand that that is happening and that that is normal. You're not the only person that is going through that. I'm not the only person that's gone through that. I've spoken with a number of people, and emotional eating is a very big part of many people's lives. And if that's what you're eating, then we just need to, because we all emotional eaters do, need to continue to understand that that's something that we're doing, and that we need to find a way of reframing our thinking and channeling that need in a different way that is not food related, so that we can dissociate that food with that pleasure. Because whilst I know that there's a lot of pleasure to be gained from food, it needs to be for the right reasons and not to support the wrong habits. So I'll probably just stop there. It's a subject that I could talk about for hours, but I will probably just stop there for now. I hope that it's been useful. I hope that you're having a great week. Next week it's scan time, and kind of every month I take a scan and a photograph. If I've managed to reduce my BMI level to below 40, I will go down from 4 products to 3. I'll find out next week if I have done that. I'm not sure I have. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. So it'll just depend on how I've done in the week. I'm a bit apprehensive of going down from 4 to 3. I remember starting and thinking, oh my God, when I reach that point, I'll be able to go down to 3 products. But all of a sudden it's here and it's very imminent, and I can't even believe that I may be going down to 3. But if that's the case, how fantastic is it to now reach a level of BMI where I can, go to what, I guess it's moving away from a level of weight that means that you can go back to, or you can go to a level that is more akin to my body size. I'm 5'4", so I'm not the tallest person, and therefore I needed 4 products because I was heavier. So actually going down to 3 will feel like a big milestone that I've been able to achieve, because now I'm in a different level. I will miss that 4th product immensely, but actually it is a big achievement, and it's another big milestone in the weight loss process. So I'm intrigued to find out what I'll do. Anyway, I will definitely leave you now. Thank you very much, everybody, for staying with me this far. Look forward to hearing from all of you, and I'll keep you posted of how I get on next week. Have a great week. Talk soon. Bye.